Hello and welcome to Real Opinions. I'm James.
I'm Chris.
I'm Harrison.
And today we're going to be talking about Spectre and trying to extrapolate as much as we can out of the very limited information that's been released on it so far. So last week was the cast announcement. So I think that's the logical place to start is to work our way through the cast. I think the obvious person to talk about is Christoph Waltz.
That's the thing I'm most excited about.
Yeah,
by a long, I'm a huge Christoph Waltz fan, and even in the films that he's not that great in, he elevates them. Like, did you guys see the Green Hornet? I assume you didn't see the Green Hornet. You're not a superhero. Did you see the Green Hornet?
No, I didn't actually. I haven't got around to watching it.
It's not as bad as everyone says, but it's not great. But Christoph Waltz is the best thing about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like he always is the best thing about whatever he's in. Like, I love Django.
Yeah, he's great in Django.
Even though I love Django and there's loads of things I love about Django, he's still the best part of Django.
He got Best Supporting, didn't he?
Yes, he won.
Yeah,
he
got Best Supporting, yeah.
Because he won like in 2000, I think he won in, it must have been Glorious it was 2009, it's 2010 Oscars, and then he won just a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And
Good on him.
deservedly so,
Yeah,
for both times,
exactly.
yeah.
So for me,
Yeah.
I mean, the only person I can think that would make a better Bond villain would be Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
and I still, I
Yeah,
pray
you
for a
want- that's
third Mendes.
That's good
Bond
though, it
and
would be good.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I also think Mark Strong would be good.
Yeah, I was
Strong,
literally going to
yeah.
say, it feels like he's being built towards that.
Yeah, Jaguar adverts.
Kevin Spacey would be good.
Kevin
yeah,
Spacey would
I
be good.
agree.
But Christoph Waltz, yeah, I mean, because he's a great villain, he's won his 2 supporting Oscars. Well, I guess Django, spoiler, he's not really a bad guy. But
He's a good guy with a dark.
yeah, exactly. But the only fear I have is that these new Bond films have kind of taken on a more serious tone than the Daniel Craig ones, and Christoph Waltz lends himself more to the kind of the camp Bond villain of the past. And I know you're going to say that Silver here is camp, but in a different way.
Camp. Yeah, no, he's not camp in an Adam West Batman camp. He's a camp character, not camp.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the film
But
camp.
it shows that they wanted to incorporate that a bit more after.
Yeah.
But I think in Inglourious Basterds, well, he has that kind of, he's charming and he's quite light. It's very threatening underneath that. So I think that Inglourious Basterds proves that I think he can lend himself to a really dark, scary role.
And it concerns me because I look at it and I think, there's no way you could possibly get it wrong with Christoph Waltz. But the fact that it's Sam Mendes as well. I mean, Sam Mendes gets the best out of his actors.
Also, there's never going to be, they're never going to get worse than that villain in Quantum of Solace. The one who looked like he was just
The
trying to
Greenpeace guy.
Yeah, he just looked like, all the time, he looked like he was going to sell you his mortgage or something. He was not threatening at all.
He wasn't a great villain.
Yeah. Although what you were saying though, inevitably we're not going to get a terribly dark villain because inevitably
It's not gonna
after
be-
12A it's going to be a 12A.
Yeah, it's not going to be
after
Inglourious Basterds.
Skyfall being like the biggest blockbuster hit from UK film. They're going to be wanting to keep it pitched to that audience, and they're not going to go the 15-18 route with a really dark kind of Handlander kind of villain.
No, but he can still be. I mean, he's not just Joker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But I think something
you can have that menace.
Something that's important to remember though is that he's been named. I've forgotten what the name of the character is that he's playing, but it's not Blofeld.
John Harrison in Star Trek 2 was not Khan until he turned out to be Khan, and everyone went, "Yeah, we knew he was Khan. We were saying, is he Khan?" And you went, "No, he's not Khan." And then he was Khan, and everyone was really pissed. It could just be.
It could happen. But in the old Bond films of like the 60s and going into the 70s, the Blofeld character was kind of never really addressed. There's a lot of the films where he's just kind of a man. All you see is him stroking the cat.
Yeah.
And then he has kind of sub villains. So
on that subject, I think having Blofeld would be really hard in a post Austin Powers climb. I don't know if I could take the character of Blofeld seriously after Dr. Evil anymore.
Yeah, but maybe the cat wouldn't.
When you're talking about stroking the cat, all I see is Dr. Evil. I don't see Blofeld.
The cat is perhaps going to depart. I feel that was very 60s.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a nod to it though, like when
Yeah.
Bond breaks into his villa or whatever, and there's just a little cat that runs by. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
We'd like that. We'd like that a lot.
So who else we got?
Henchman.
Yeah,
Might be a good one.
Yeah, we'll go to the henchman because I think that's that's quite relevant to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben from the team is looking in on us at the moment and trying to distract us.
Ben, Dave
Join.
Bautista.
Join.
Say things about
You
it.
can just come in and sit on a lap, and it'll all be good.
No, this is.
Look,
We now have another member.
Yeah.
This is Ben.
What were you saying about Dave Bautista?
Bautista?
You're talking about Spectre.
we are.
We've
I'm
already
very
discussed
excited
balls.
for Spectre.
Dave Bautista, an ex-WWE star in a Sam Mendes film. Discuss.
Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
Of course, he hasn't seen
You
Guardians of the
haven't
Galaxy.
seen it.
You can't comment if you haven't seen, because
No,
Dave
no,
Bautista
he's
is
good
a
at it.
surprisingly incredible actor.
He's good.
He
Well,
was-
I'll go as far as
WWE
he's
Some
He
people
is
are
acting,
arguing
so-
he is one of the better performances of
Exactly.
it.
The important thing is he can be cast beyond his physicality as an actor.
Yeah.
I agree.
I realise he is cast for that a lot of the time, but there is some personality there as well. It's not
But
just...
as a henchman.
He is a henchman.
As
so-
a henchman, I don't
But
need
they might
Daniel
subvert
Day-Lewis.
it.
But
Although,
he may be a henchman, but they're looking to create a new iconic henchman,
Yeah.
aren't they? Like the casting call was they wanted to create someone kind of like Jaws, kind of like
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
the thing
someone
is,
memorable.
even like I agree with you that Dave Bautista can actually act, but even if he couldn't,
It
I
wouldn't
don't.
matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
It
guess
wouldn't
so.
matter that much for the henchman. Like,
Could the guy that played Jaws act?
not really. Have you
Not
seen
really.
that bit at the end of Moonraker? It's Moonraker where he's like in love
When
with
he's in
that
the
girl,
pod
and
with
it's
that
just
girl,
like,
yeah.
oh god,
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a challenging watch. Right. I feel like we've.
A View to a Kill was harder though.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one's next level.
Very much so. Now I feel like we should move on to the Bond ladies.
I think I'll let James
ooh.
do this.
I'll lead the discussion of the ladies. So is it
Violent outshot.
Leia
Leia
Seydoux.
Yeah.
Blue is the warmest colour.
Yeah.
She's done other stuff.
She's
as
done
well.
other stuff, but that was her kind
Defining.
of defining role.
Yeah, I guess so.
She bared all her acting skills. She bared all
painful.
of her acting
Yeah,
skills.
I haven't watched it yet because I've heard.
So yeah, she's kind of brings that to the Bond role, and if you actually
She's not going to get naked.
no, I know she's not going to do that. But if you look
Is
at
that all we
Bond-
care about here?
That's all he cares about.
Whether or not James makes another cut to insert the scene in.
Recent Bond films have featured actresses who have previously done nude scenes, and she is one of them. so that is a feature.
This is on camera.
You can leave. We've done. We can do
say
a
the
tactical
same about the
sub. We
actors.
can substitute you for
Yeah.
Ben right now.
If you can't deal with this discussion of Bond
can say
girls,
the same
it's
about the
Bond
actors,
girls.
though.
It's inherently misogynistic. Then moving on, we're thinking that Monica Bellucci is going to be the shady.
All you have to do is look at their names. Leia Seydoux
Yeah.
plays a character called Madeline Swan. What's dangerous about that?
Yeah, she's not.
It's in the same
Unless it's a red herring and they're the
There you
opposite
go.
way around.
Maybe.
There you
So,
go.
you know.
Who knows?
twists.
Monica Bellucci. There's been quite a lot of stuff on the internet saying that about how Bond has finally
I
got
thought you
a
were gonna
Bond
say
girl.
there's quite a lot of stuff on the internet about Monica Bellucci.
Well, there probably is.
Of course there is.
Yes, about the fact that finally there's a Bond woman who is the same age as Bond, or at least Bond
Oh
actor.
yeah,
Is she-
isn't she
She's
the oldest
50.
Bond
Yeah,
girl?
so,
I
yeah.
think I heard.
Doesn't look 50 though.
She looks good for her age.
She does.
To be fair to her. Yeah.
Botox is.
If any of you, more
so-
importantly, I think it's interesting how they're kind of, especially and the fact that the other Bond girl we haven't talked about, Naomi Harris,
Mhm.
the fact that she's now Moneypenny, and that's an actual
Oh, yeah.
thing,
That is the thing.
and that's going to be a consistent thing now, which I'm quite happy about.
Yes, and Ray Fiennes. We should also mention.
Yeah.
We should mention just very
Returning-
briefly.
returning
cast.
cast. Yeah.
Yes, Ray Fiennes. I mean
Ben Whishaw.
Ben Whishaw.
Yeah,
Great.
we've got the new
Paddington.
team established in Skyfall.
I
Really.
like
Yeah.
the new team.
I
I
like-
really
yeah,
like
it's cool.
it. I really
Yeah.
like it's cast so well.
That was almost one of the things I most liked about Skyfall was the way it set it up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was almost like a reboot, really, wasn't
was
it? It was
definitely.
like Quantum of Solace didn't happen, and
I'm not forgetting.
Casino Royale was just an ode to the classic.
So yeah, just to mention briefly, Mr. White returning,
Yes.
and I was just sort of having a little look on the interwebs, and it is interesting because in the past Bond films he's been in, he was in Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace. He's got a kind of
Solace?
divide.
Shush!
It doesn't
Every
matter. Let's not
time.
get back into the
You
Tattooing
pick
thing.
everyone up on pronunciation every episode.
Twice so far. Twice.
Keep going.
So yeah. It's interesting because he's a kind of divided character. I mean, in Casino Royale, he's sort of the bad guy, and then Quantum
He
of
only
Solace
really shows up at the end though, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then Quantum of Solace, he's obviously.
Mm. The thing is, I think they're trying to tie all the Daniel Craig ones together, so that there is a consistent thing. But then, when Daniel Craig comes to stop being Bond, are they going to reboot it again, or find a realistic way of continuing the character, or just ignore it?
I whispered the Fassbender's name.
Yeah.
Oh god, that would
perfect.
Be...
Yeah.
That'd be
I don't think he would
I
take
don't
it.
think he'd do that.
No.
No.
I
think
also
he's too
think
big
by
now.
the time Craig moves on, Fassbender would kind of be past it.
There's a lot of Idris Elba
too
between.
many-
I don't actually.
Yeah.
I don't actually need Fassbender to because you get that with Magneto anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of get
That's
my
the thing. I
fill of
wanted
it.
more of that.
Actually, then
60s
again,
stuff in
it
First
would
Class.
almost
So
be
good.
like the expectation for Fassbender as Bond. It's better as an idea, isn't it, than in Fit?
Fassbender would be a great
Like, if
Bond
he had
villain.
it would quite live
Yeah,
up
it
to
would be a good Bond villain.
He'd be a great Bond villain.
Yeah.
Fassbender would be great, and I just a one-man show of Fassbender playing all the parts. Fassbender is Q, Fassbender is Moneypenny, Fassbender is all of them.
And the Bond girl.
Yeah.
He just has sex with himself.
Okay.
But Daniel Craig is contracted for one more after this,
Yes.
isn't he? So we should
Yeah.
bear that in mind,
Yeah.
that there is...
I think this one's supposed to be a 2-part.
Oh, yeah, I
well
was going to
as
see
that.
them
Apparently.
leading maybe up for that.
Not 100% sure.
I guess if you're going to bring in re-establish a big criminal organisation, that's saying
Yeah.
bigger than just one villain, aren't
Exactly.
you? You're
I have
teeing
a
it
feeling
up.
Blofeld will kind of be set up at the end of this one, and then he'll be the
Yeah.
big bad for the 5th one. But
Who would make a good Blofeld? There's only one man. There's only one man. There's only one man that could possibly top Christoph Waltz. And we have already discussed this in your absence.
who is it?
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey must
But
be in a
he's
Bond.
too-
I was.
He was in
unless,
Austin Powers.
He was the bad guy in the new Call of Duty.
Unless
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz could be a John Harrison.
Yeah,
still
I
think
think
he's a
that's
John
the thing.
Harrison.
Everyone's thinking that at the moment, that he's a John Harrison type, where they're kind of like, oh, he's not Blofeld because he's called something else. And at the end, they'll suddenly reveal that he was Blofeld all along.
And everyone will go, yep.
Well, yeah, because that could be his good guy
Yeah.
name is... and
as
then
long
it's
as he
actually
doesn't go,
bad.
Khan, I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, so just to kind of conclude, I think we
talk
should...
about the car, didn't you?
We should talk... Yeah, we were. We can
The
talk about the car.
BB-10,
There's not really much we can say about the car.
other than
It's shiny, it looks nice.
it's
It's
gorgeous.
kind of that slate colour, isn't it? It's just
Yeah,
like
it's an Aston
continuing.
Martin.
Yeah.
It's
They're
a
just-
phallic symbol.
Yeah.
Phallic symbol if there ever was one.
Yes. But it's very nice. It's
Yeah.
kind of very Aston Martin-y, you know.
And it's very new series because, I mean, they had... Was it DB10 or DB9? I'm not...
I like
DB9.
fast cars.
Yeah.
There was a DBS
Anyway,
at one point as well.
Yeah.
And then there was the V12 Vanquish.
Yeah.
And
That's the Die Another Day
the one that goes invisible.
should we move on to Bond
Yes,
theme?
that's
I guess.
absolutely
Yeah.
what I was
Nice
gonna
to
say.
you.
Pitbull.
What?
I'm pitching it now.
Oh.
Pitbull.
I thought you were announcing it. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, exclusive announcement. Harrison's going to unveil the new Bond singer.
You heard it here first.
I think Pitbull would be perfect. I know they probably have their own ideas, but I'm just going to close the case
Why?
down. Because imagine
He
how
could be
good
sort
it
of
would
just
be.
there with the
Imagine how
silhouette-
good it would be.
The silhouetted
He'd enjoy the
figures.
Bond girls
when,
when,
like,
yeah, I
yeah,
can so
silhouetted
see that.
figures and him just
in
sort
a
of
white
flaunting
suit,
around.
going
Yeah.
like this, undone like
Just
shirt.
amazing thing with his
Classic
glasses, like,
sleazy
shaking like
Pitbull.
that.
Yeah.
And then you just
That's
lists
it.
the places that Bond goes to. He's always
yeah.
just is there. And he
He'd
does
just
that
do it for the music video,
thing.
wouldn't he? Where he just like he just says everything about it, doesn't he? That's a fair point.
Just
yeah.
lists places and the names of the women in it. Done.
Fast
Realistically
cars, yeah.
speaking, who could do it? Because who could top Adele? That's
Sam
the thing.
Smith is, like, I think, guaranteed to do it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think James
because
has hit
they
the nail on the
realised that Adele, she was probably quite expensive
won
to
an
get
Oscar,
involved in
didn't
it.
she?
She won the Oscar,
Yeah.
but like that worked out so well for them. It gave the film so much more publicity.
Yeah,
And Sam Smith is
right in that position now.
yeah,
I think.
Grammys.
Who's done it up to now? There was before that was Jack White and Alicia Keys, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That I
Chris
thought that would be
Cornell
bigger than it
before
was.
that.
Chris Cornell.
Chris
See, I
Cornell
really liked that one.
I like that one.
I do
But
too.
But
not
it doesn't
enough people
have
know
the
it.
name, you know.
People
It
hate
doesn't. That's the problem. I think that's the problem with that.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Although
But
he's
I like
really big in America, isn't he? Chris
Yeah,
Cornell?
it's Soundgarden, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Avengers song too. So that's,
Did he?
Yeah.
There was an Avengers song.
Yeah. It's called
Really?
Live
Okay.
to Ride.
Can I just?
Right, we must continue, and we'll just maybe briefly comment on the poster and the initial production photo that they posted
Yes.
yesterday. I
Have
think.
you seen? It was yesterday.
Well, 2 days ago.
Is that the one with the clapperboard?
The clapperboard
Yeah.
and the bulldog. So there's been stuff on the internet saying that.
And I don't know if everyone else noticed. Someone showed me the glass crack on the poster is in the shape of the Spectre logo.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
a little
good
spider.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So
No,
there
it's
you go.
quite difficult to spot unless you're
Yeah.
looking for it.
Okay, well there we go. So that's neatly done. I don't think there's much we can really say about the poster. It's pretty minimalistic.
Yeah,
but it does the job. It's nice as a teaser kind of one.
It was just
you've got the organisation logo. Looks cool because bullet hole, obviously. Yeah, it's nice.
So I think that's cool. But yeah, in terms of that photo, it's interesting with the bulldog. Now I can't remember.
Bulldog, pitbull.
There we go. Oh my god!
They're hinting at the song. Of course,
obviously.
There we go.
It bothered me a little bit actually when they announced a little bit of a plot summary. There was Ralph Fiennes' M had his own line in the plot summary, which made me a little bit scared that he's going to have his own subplot.
Yeah, like M
that
battles.
Would be weird.
Yeah, like a Nick Fury thing. Like he goes off on some weird adventure on the other side of the world, but somehow relies on getting some intel or some weird kind of odd job that he has to do.
The whole idea of M is just that he sets up the mission and then he concludes the mission.
Yeah.
And he might show up in the middle to give Bond a little bit of a bollocking to get him in a straight line.
I don't want that as a sort of
I don't think they should cut away to him.
That's not really how a Bond film works, is it? You know, the whole idea is it's the adventure of just you follow Bond through his travails. Maybe you have the bits from the kind of enemy organisation, but that's it. Unless obviously M is the villain, but that's very unlikely.
That would be a very Captain America-esque plot steal.
It will be a big twist.
Just wind me up.
That's probably a spoiler there. But anyway, I think we should wrap it up in terms of Spectre. We are all very, very excited.
Yeah.
It's out in October.
Yeah, they've just started shooting and it's coming out in October.
It's
crazy.
How often do they make Fast and the Furious films now? They are basically permanent.